Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Afshan speaking. Just to carry on from my last video, I was speaking about self-esteem and how to nurture self-esteem in your children. Sadly, one of the things that I see quite a lot will affect a child's self-esteem is if they're being bullied, and it's a subject that's on the horizon quite a lot frequently, about a young boy, obviously, who passed away because of the bullying. I think sometimes when I speak to children, or when I'm speaking to teenagers, because bullying can happen at any form of your life. It can happen at work, it can happen at college, it can happen at university. But I'm talking about the bullying that starts. Where does it start from? And if it starts from a very young age, then that will also affect a child's self-esteem. So they're unable to assert themselves, unable to speak about it. And again, this is where the parenting comes in, where parents have to be aware of their child. And I think I mentioned this before, it's very, very important to know how your child is behaving. So some of the things that if your child is being bullied, because you have to understand, it's very easy for us to say to a child, but you should come and speak to about it. You should have told somebody about it. They're sometimes trapped in this cycle that perhaps, their parents won't listen to them, or their parents are very busy, or sometimes something's happening and they feel they can't share this with anybody. And also there's a pressure of school as well, where they think, what shall I do if I do speak out about the bullying, then what's going to happen? So if you have that kind of relationship with your child where they can come and speak to you and tell you, or you pick up on the fact they're very quiet, and the main things that happen when a child is being bullied or some trauma or abuse is happening to a child is that they may isolate themselves, they become very, very quiet. You'll see a sudden change of behaviour. If they're very young, there may be bedwettings. All these are red flags that need to be picked up on. And the reason I'm saying is that many times I've spoken to children or teenagers, and they've said, well, we were doing all that, but nobody actually picked it up. We didn't know who to speak to about it. And you have to break this cycle where they speak to somebody, because they're trapped in their own world if they don't speak to somebody about this. And sadly, this is what happens, and then the situation goes out of control. So for parents especially, obviously school has to be aware of this as well. If you feel your child is showing a sudden change of behaviour, suddenly not being themselves, very quiet, very withdrawn, then you have to address that. You have to find out what it is. And a very good thing is ask the child, what would you like me to do? Sometimes they may say to you, well, yes, speak to the school. So give them some power in this by saying, what would you like me to do? I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. But do not let them feel that they are alone. And bullying has to be obviously addressed through school and however it's done. Because one of the things I see with, especially obviously I see a lot of young sisters, I do a lot of teenage counselling, is the effects of bullying. It causes a lot of where children will internalise their pain and they will self-harm. There's eating disorders like bulimia, anorexia, obviously low self-esteem, and the low self-esteem will lead them on later in life to be very, very vulnerable in society, because then they are controlled by society because they don't have no self-worth. So all these things, if it's happening at a very, very young age, then we need to be aware of it and help that child through whatever trauma and difficulties they're going. So basically, your relationship with your child is paramount. How are you with them? Yeah, we need to take a step back and think about this. When this busy world that we live in our busy lives, are we taking that time out to be aware of how our child is? If they're behaving differently, is something upsetting them? What's happening with them? One of the things I do with my granddaughters, I'm always asking them, is everything okay at school? If I feel they're really upset about something, I sit and talk to them, and most times they will share. They will share what's worrying them, and I know that inshallah, as I'm nurturing this relationship with them, in time they will come. If anything else happens, they'll come and talk to me. So having the forms of communication open with your children is so, so important. It could save so many problems later on in their lives. Because remember, brothers and sisters, remember, you are nurturing the next ummah, the next society. You want them to be strong in their marriages, strong in their work, strong in their way of thinking and their beliefs. And to do that, we have to make sure that we nurture the root. I hope that helps. If you want any more information, and then please look at the below. All my details are there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.